Hi, my name is Patrick Alexander. I'm Cloud Solution Architect, Microsoft, Healthcare and Life Sciences. Today I'm going to show you how to do localization with the HealthBot chatbots. So there are multiple ways of approaching this scenario. The first way is to use built-in localization for the chatbots. So if you go to your HealthBot services on the language, on the localization, what you're going to see, you will see the strings IDs that they associate with the questions or answers or anything that you need to associate with. So now you can define multiple languages. You can add multiple languages from here, and then that way you have the translations of all the strings that you want to your string IDs, and then we're going to use those string IDs. You have to make sure that this button is turned on right away. So on the scenario, let's review how this piece is going to work. On my scenario, I will have my default language chosen. My default language is always English, so I can you can see here that it's English. So I can start my chatbot, and you will see that the communication is going through English language. Now, if I change this one to be another language that I already defined the variables and string IDs, if I restart my chatbot, so it's going to pick up the translated strings, and then my chatbot is going to communicate in defined language, and it's going to follow the same trees and the same chatbot logics that has been defined. So this is the first way of doing that. The second way of defining and using the chatbot is using through the strings, but not through the language previous way that you saw, but it's using through the scripting. So this way you define your variables, and then you assign different sentences. And then if we go, for example, the other language, you have the same variable, but this time you assign the translation to that variable. So this way, what is if I execute my chatbot, again, if the language chosen it's English, it's going to continue the chatbot communication through the English language. But if I go and if I choose my language to a different one, and if I start my chatbot again, since my language is chosen to be in a different language, so obviously all my communication is going to be on different language. So these two ways are very useful when you're using chatbots, and then you deploying this in a web app, and then with the web app you can pass the local variable basically through the URL, and the chatbot will understand what kind of local has been passed, and the local values are these values that we have it here. Now, a lot of times the customers comes and they ask that we want to do a different way, which means that they want to ask the first questions that they're going to ask is the question that they want to ask the user, what language do you want to continue? So this is the third way that in that case, you still have the localizations through the variable assignments. So I have my variables, and I'm assigning all the strings the same way for example, for the Spanish one here, you can see. And then the first question here that I'm going to ask, the first question is going to be asked about what is your preferred language. So that way I will get that preferred language as a variable. I will assign it to my choice of the language, and I will continue through that path. So let's see how this is going to work. I will start my communication. So this time I have the option to choose my language as a first choice. So if I choose the English, you notice on the left side that it chooses the English, and then it grabs all the variables and then assign it. But if I choose that one to be Spanish, so this time it's going to be through the selection of the Spanish, and then all the variables will be assigned in Spanish, and then it will continue on Spanish. So the point is that there are multiple ways of doing the same thing. It will matter just how the requirements are, and then where it's going to fit the most. And then for that purposes, you can choose from the different options that we demonstrate and use the one that fits most your projects. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this is helpful.